Well, we're Andy and Kimber Iverson. We have 3 kids. Amani just graduated from high school. She's doing a gap year here in Rochester. Our son is Caleb. He's in 10th grade, and Melina is in 6th grade. We joined Wycliffe Bible Translators 14 years ago, first in Sudan and most recently in Ethiopia. This past June, we left Ethiopia as a family for the last time, and we're now settling down in Rochester. When we were between countries back in 2013 and 14, we found a beautiful, welcoming community in Gloria Dei. Now that we've moved back to Rochester, we're really happy to be back at Gloria Dei. So in the past, missionaries have often been rightly accused of projecting their Western culture and their culture's interpretation of God on others, often to devastating effects. That's not what we want to do. Our vision has always been to help people know God as directly and clearly as possible. Our vision has always been to help people know God as directly and clearly as possible without getting in the way. The best way to do that is to give them access to the Bible. The Bible speaks to each of us in our own culture, in our own circumstances, and what stands out to me might be different from what stands out to you. The problem is, there are over 7,000 languages in the world, and many of them don't have a Bible and have no idea who God is. Or they might know a little bit about it because they've learned another language, typically of a more dominant and sometimes oppressive people group. So in their view of reality, God doesn't speak their language and doesn't care about them. Wycliffe founder Cam Townsend said that the most effective missionary is the Bible in the mother tongue. People don't need us, they need God. And we want to facilitate that by providing access to the Bible in a language that speaks to their hearts.
Yeah, so our organization in Ethiopia, they phrase it as we are partners in language development, also partners in Bible translation. So what that means is we are an organization that comes alongside the church, the local church denominations. There's other partners doing Bible translation work in Ethiopia. Even the Ethiopian government itself, they are working in literacy and education in rural areas. And so our work is coming alongside these other organizations, mainly alongside the local community, to help them with translation work, to be consulting and advising with how to organize things even as basic as their alphabet, the writing system they're using. So we're working on curriculum development, training teachers, other groups that are coming alongside, all in this big community, I guess, of language development and language work. Also, a large part of our work is coming alongside different church leaders or others involved in the community that are then in turn sharing language use and literacy and education materials with the broader community. So there's a lot of training that's going into helping people to realize it isn't just about grabbing it for ourselves, but it's about bringing that and advocating to the larger community some of these language tools and language things. Yeah. One real focus of ours in the last few years has specifically been in an area we call trauma healing. For many years, even decades or centuries, there's been tribal or regional conflict in Ethiopia, in the larger Horn of Africa area that Ethiopia is a part of. And trauma healing is a specific program that we've used to bring sides together to look at the challenges and even the hardship faced by people that have been involved in real conflict in the past, and how they can really move past that, again, as a whole community, that they can really hopefully break that cycle that has trapped people or trapped even communities over the years, to not be able to really move beyond some of that animosity level that has blocked development.
One of the things I really appreciate about some of the work that has gone on in Ethiopia through Bible translation is looking at what does God have to say, what does the Bible have to say about things like trauma and violence that's happened to people. One of the workshops that our group has been involved in helping with is called a Trauma and Healing Workshop, and it focuses on talking about what the Bible has to say about these things, processing the grief and the things that have happened, and being able to move through that to forgiveness and to reach out even to other groups that have been enemies in the past.
So I'll keep traveling back a couple times a year probably to Ethiopia, just joining alongside different workshops or training sessions there, meeting together with the management team, probably doing some travel to the remote areas in Ethiopia to monitor or oversee some of the projects that our teams are undertaking.
While we were in Ethiopia, our kids attended an international school there. I also taught there full time, so I was teaching learning support, actually coordinating the learning support department, teaching ESL, and actually teaching physics for part of that time. Oh, and grade 1 and 2. So now that we're back, I am transitioning. I'm focused on helping our family transition first, and then I will be transitioning into a new role as well. Little uncertain what that role will be, whether it's remote work with SIL or remote work with Wycliffe, or actually renewing my teaching license so I can teach locally or something else.
Part of this transition for us is, they haven't lived, we all haven't really lived in Minnesota or in the US for like 7 years, and even then it was like a 1-year transition where we were living here, but we were looking for the next place to go. So we weren't really, establishing roots here in a way. We were just in that transition stage. But at this point, we are settling in Minnesota. I mean, this is going to be home. This is home for us now. And that's kind of an unknown thing for them as kids just joining alongside in school. And for us as adults, learning to adult in Minnesota, so.